everyone and welcome back to a new video on my channel. I'm so glad you could make it. It's been a minute since I filmed and uploaded a video. I've just not been doing too well both mentally and physically. And as you may know, the winters in Sweden are very long and very dark, and this year it was also very cold for a long time, so I just have not had the motivation. I've been in a massive reading slump in basically all of February. But I'm hopefully back now. The sun is shining today, the sky is blue, so I'm hoping for better times and for more books read. Hopefully. But I thought to kickstart me being back, I would pick out my March TBR, because picking out my TBR is one of my favorite things to do and is one of the most motivating things for me to do whenever I'm in a reading slump. So that is what we are doing, and I'm gonna do that with help from my little TBR bunny jar. In this jar I have a bunch of prompts, and with help from those I will pick out my books that I will read in the month of March. I do already have my book club book picked out and started actually, but if I can't put it on the TBR I probably will because it's a long one. But other than that, we will see what the jar chooses for us. And yeah, I think I'm going to pick out 6 books. I'm probably not going to read them all, but that gives me a little bit of options. So let's pick out the first prompt for the month of March. I think that's one. And this one says mixed media. Okay, I do love a good book with some mixed media. Immediately I'm thinking that mystery thrillers are usually more mixed media than other books. Honestly, I have been craving some rereads of some of my favorite books, and one of those is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This was the first book that I read in English whenever I first got back into reading again, and I rated this 5 stars. I just really loved this, and I also love the TV show and the rest of the series. And this is a book with mixed media. It has like text messages and transcripts and pictures. So I'm gonna put this one on the TBR, I think. I was not expecting to put a reread on there, but I just got so excited to dive back into this world and into Pip's head, and yeah, I just really like these books. So A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, a reread, is the first book to go on my March TBR. So let's pick out prompt number 2. Book with queer characters. Okay, so like LGBTQ+. I mean, I do know that The House in the Cerulean Sea is one, but we are reading that for book club and not in the month of March, so I cannot pick that. Right, so I was thinking either You Found Oliver or When Haru Was Here, both by Dustin Thau, because they do both have male main characters on the cover, and I don't know if, like, this is the follow-up to You've Reached Sam, and You've Reached Sam was not a queer romance, but maybe this one is? I think this one is actually, because I would prefer to read this one before reading When Haru Was Here, since this is like the second book to a duology. But I will just double check if this is a queer romance. Okay, so it does say LGBT and queer as the like genre for this one, so I'm pretty sure this one is. So I'm gonna put When Haru Was Here back, and I will put You Found Oliver by Dustin Thau on the TBR. This one is a beautiful special edition, and if you do not know the story of You've Reached Sam, it is a heartbreaking story about a girl who basically loses her boyfriend to an accident, I believe, and she keeps calling him, and then one day Sam picks up, basically, and that is kind of the story you follow. So it's kind of like a magical realism kind of vibe, I would say. So I am excited to read this one as well, and it is pretty short. I think it's like 300 pages or so. Yeah, not even that, so that is actually perfect since the book club book will be so long. So this one is the second book on the March TBR, and I'm super excited. Time to pick out prompt number 3. I feel like You Found Oliver also feels very like spring. At least You've Reached Sam did, because of the cherry blossom and stuff. Free pick! Oh my god. Free pick. Ooh, what do we do with that? That's like almost harder than actually like picking out a book based off of a prompt. I would love to read the Emily Wilde series. I still have not started that. Alice Feeney is always a good option as well. Oh my god, I have too many books that I want to read right now. Maybe I should just put the book club book on there just to kind of get that on the TBR. I will just go get it. So I have decided to put the book club book on my TBR for my free pick because it's a chunker and it would be nice to have this as one of the 6 on my TBR just so I can kind of make sure that I maybe read my whole TBR. But the book is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. Which is like the first book in a new fantasy series, so this is the only book that is out. I believe it came out earlier this year or late last year maybe. This book is 650 pages and I am currently 145 pages in, so I have made a little bit of progress already. But I think it still counts to put this on the TBR. I cannot really explain what this one is about so far because I haven't gotten that far into it, but I am really enjoying it so far actually. I have not read like a high fantasy book in quite a while and I was super nervous going into this one, but I feel like I was into it straight away. I understood the world. I think that the world building is like happening slowly throughout the book, which I enjoy because then it's not like an info dump in the beginning of the book. And yeah, it's like an academy setting. So far it's kind of like giving me Fourth Wing vibes, not because of the storyline or anything, but just like maybe the way it's written. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But I am enjoying it so far, but I do have a long way to go. So this one will be the 3rd book on my March TBR and I'm very happy that I could make it work. On to prompt number 4. I got one there. I've really missed doing this. Oh wait, I got 2. I'm putting one back. Okay. A book with an ugly cover. Okay, can do. I think I've had this one before and I'm pretty sure I picked The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell for that one because I do not enjoy those covers, and I did not end up reading that month because I just did not have the time. I actually know one. So this one was a book that I just recently ordered and received, and I hate the cover of this book. Like, I hate it. And that is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the 2nd book in the Ninth House series, or the Alex Stern series I think it's called. So I read Ninth House I think last fall and I really enjoyed it. It was my first Dark Academia and I finally ordered the 2nd book in the series because obviously I want to know what happens next. But like, sorry, you cannot tell me that this is a pretty cover. Like, I hate it. It's like a dead rat or something, or bunny I guess, and no. So this one is definitely in my opinion, the ugliest cover on my TBR, and I am beyond excited to read this one as well. So this one will be the perfect pick for the prompt, I would say. So this one is a Dark Academia. The first one, Ninth House, is set at Yale and is about Alex, who kind of like she can like see and talk to ghosts, I think, and she kind of tries to solve the disappearance of her mentor, I would say, at the school. So yeah, I'm guessing this one just follows up on what happens next in that story. I'm beyond excited. I have not read the blurb. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, I'm not sure yet. Maybe I will go in blind. Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo is the next book on my March TBR. That's 4 books picked out. I would love to get a thriller on there. I could do with a romance since it is the first month of spring. At least here in Sweden, spring has already started. Prompt number 5. Only 2 more to go. Let's do this one. Mystery thriller. Oh my god, I did not make this up. Mystery thriller. Perfect. I'm so happy about that. Right, so right off the bat, I could do Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney because I did not end up getting to this last month, which it was on my TBR last month as well. Alice Feeney is my favorite thriller author. I cannot wait to dive into this. The only reason I didn't read it was because of my reading slump. I literally read my book club book, and maybe I finished one book in the beginning of the month, but I'm not even sure about that. So yeah, that's why I did not get to this one. Otherwise this one would have been the first one I picked up. I am also intrigued to read the second book in the Housemaid series though, because I still have not read this. And I did watch the Housemaid movie in January. I have read the first book prior to that, but that kind of got me excited to read this one again. I might be boring saying this, but I think I will put Daisy Darker on there again because I'm just so sad that I did not get to this last month, and this is by far my favorite thriller author again, and one of the thrillers I'm most excited to read at the moment. Yeah, this might be the next book I read after The Raven Scholar. Hold me to it, okay? If I haven't read it in April, just yell at me. Daisy is also the name of my dog, so, you know, perfect. And I feel like this is kind of spring, so yeah. Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. Yes! And that leads us to the last prompt of the month. So far, the TBR is looking amazing. I'm so happy about how it's turning out, even though none of them were what I was expecting for the month of March, except for The Raven Scholar, obviously. But let's see what the last book on my March TBR will be. Contemporary romance. Did I not just say that I wanted a romance on there? Or that I could do with a romance on there? Okay, I think I know. Because if I do pick this book, I think I can pick out another one. Because this one is one also that I have already started and that I'm currently reading. And that is Reckless by Elsie Silver. I have yet to finish this series, and this is the book that I'm currently on. I am buddy reading this whole series with a friend, and I'm currently on page 100, and I am thoroughly enjoying it so far. I think this is a contemporary romance, right? It is a romance anyway. But yeah, this is the fourth book in the Chestnut Springs series, and this one follows Winter and Theo. And this is like a surprise pregnancy trope. So yeah, I'm super excited to see how this one continues. I am enjoying it so far. As I said, these are very fast paced, or very fast to read anyway. So I'm excited to continue this one. And since I did pick two books that I have already started, I think that that kind of validates me picking one more prompt, right? Yeah, let's pick one final prompt for the month of March. A book by your favorite author. Oh my god, I'm getting so lucky with the prompts this month. Okay, so right off the bat, my favorite authors are definitely V.E. Schwab, Stephanie Garber, Kristen Hanna, obviously, Alice Feeney. Like, I do not think that I want a Kristen Hanna book since this is a 7th prompt, and I did read a few Kristen Hanna books like in December and January, so I think I want a little break because they are heartbreaking. So one of my book club members actually ended up reading this one for book club in January because we all read the books that we received for Secret Santa, and it got me super intrigued to read this one as well, and it is by one of my favorite authors. Oh wait, maybe... Actually, there's two I'm debating between now from the same author, and that is A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. This is obviously the last part in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. So that would have me finish off a series, because I have previously read the Carnival series by her. Yeah, maybe this is a more responsible choice, because the other one I was debating on was Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber as well. So they are obviously by the same author, but since this one is the last part of a trilogy, I think I should just finish this one before diving into another one of her books. Yeah, let's make the responsible choice this time. I'm picking A Curse for True Love for a book by my favorite author. So this is the last part of the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. We follow Jax and Evangeline we ended off book 2 on an enormous cliffhanger, and it has been a while since I read that one, so I'm not sure how I've been able to just keep off of this, but I am beyond excited to finish off this series. Also a little bit sad to leave these characters behind, but mostly excited. And this one is less than 400 pages, so that should definitely be doable. Yeah, that was the last book on my TBR, so let's go through all of them once more. For a contemporary romance, we picked Reckless by Elsie Silver. For a book with mixed media, we picked A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, which will be a reread for me. For a mystery thriller, we picked Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. For a book with an ugly cover, we picked Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. For a free pick, we picked The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. For a book by my favorite author, we picked A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. And last but not least, for a book with queer characters, we picked You Found Oliver by Dustin Thau. So we are all set for the month of March. Seeing this pile, it is a little bit intimidating. There are a lot of pages in here, but also so many exciting reads, and 2 of them I have already started. So let's see how far we get. If I don't read them all, that's completely okay, as long as I read the ones I'm in the middle of, and Daisy Darker, of course. But I'm beyond excited for each and every one of these books. So thank you so much for spending some time with me, helping me to pick them out. And I hope to see you again in my next video, which will be a reading vlog again, finally. Don't forget to press that subscribe button if you enjoyed watching me, give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Until then, have a great time.